The University of Oklahoma's Status Change eForm was part of a multi-form ePath update project completed with Gideon Taylor Consulting. The Status Change form is used to process terminations, resignations, retirement, and leave of absence transactions. Managers who currently have employees on a leave of absence can also manage their leave by requesting an extension or changing the leave type. Let's first look at termination or resignation transactions. Open the ePath tile from the Manager's Self-Service homepage and search for the employee to take the action on. Use the drop-down arrow to select termination or resignation from the drop-down list of actions. The related action is programmed to pass in the termination action onto the form and will appear as read-only. Users will answer a transfer question to confirm they're completing the correct transaction. Conditional instructions appear, providing information to the user if this form should not be used. The reason for this termination or resignation is filtered based on the termination type of voluntary or involuntary. The list of valid reasons based on the employee group is defined in the custom action reasons setup table. In the termination/retirement details segment, users provide the last day worked, the reemployability status, and if the user is a current timekeeping supervisor for at least one employee, who will be taking over that responsibility upon their departure. For users with the provost and records role, an additional segment displays for the option of adding in regions as an approver in this workflow if the transaction needs to be added to an upcoming Board of Regents agenda. Attachments may be required depending on the information entered on the form. The user submits the form and once authorized will write to job data. The form will also write to two records which store reemployability statuses and timekeeping supervisors for OU employees. Let's now look at how to complete a retirement. Open the ePath tile from Manager Self-Service and search for the employee to take the action on. Select Retire from the drop-down list of related actions. The related action is programmed to pass in the retirement action onto the form and will appear as display only. Using the same segments that appeared on the termination resignation view of this form, the users will select the reason for their retirement based on a list of valid reason combinations that were defined on the action reason setup table. Users provide the last day worked, the reemployability status, and if the user is a current timekeeping supervisor for at least one employee, who will be taking over that responsibility upon the departure. Attachments may be required depending on the information entered on the form. The user submits the form and once authorized will write to the job data component in PeopleSoft, as well as two custom records that store reemployability status and timekeeping supervisors for OU employees. Finally, let's look at a leave of absence transaction. Open the ePath tile from the Manager Self-Service homepage and locate the employee to take the action on. OU's campuses use different leave actions. The related actions are coded to only display valid options for the selected employee. The selected action will once again appear as read-only upon opening the form and cannot be changed. The action reason setup table defines the valid action reason combinations that the user can choose from the drop-down list. The user provides the first day of leave and, if known, an expected return date. Attachments may be required based on detail entered into the form. The user then clicks Submit and the workflow begins. Once all approvals are obtained, the form updates the job data component. An additional function of this form is to allow for extending a leave or changing the leave type for an employee. Once an employee is on an approved leave, the Extend Leave related action will appear in the employee's list of available actions. Users can enter in the dates of the effective date and provide an updated return from leave date if known. If the employee's leave type has changed during the course of their absence, the user can request that change through this form. If an employee is currently on a paid leave of absence, and that should be changed to an unpaid leave of absence, the user would see the unpaid leave from the drop-down list of related actions. When opening the form, a message displays confirming the employee is currently on a paid leave, and the completion of this action would result in an update to the leave to unpaid. Users would enter the same detail and submit to start the workflow. Upon authorization from all form approvers, the transaction would write to job data in PeopleSoft with the updated leave action. This status change eForm is an efficient and simple solution that provides great flexibility to OU users. With the action reason setup table to control valid combinations, functional users are empowered with the ability to make changes to the actions and reasons available on the form without needing developer assistance. For more information about GT eForms, please contact us.